Hi Jaycationers, welcome to Jaycation Travel Planning. This video is the first of many features where I'm going to start doling out travel tips, giving suggestions where to go, and hopefully help you, the viewer, out where to go next on your trip. So you ask me, JJ, where to next? You've gone to Italy, you've gone to France, you've gone to Spain. What gives? Well, I'd like to announce that I'm expanding my horizons. I'm going somewhere else other than Europe. With the first trip of 2016, JJ selects the land down under, Australia. When's the best time to visit Australia? Usually my Aussie friends are all over Europe between the months of June and August. So obviously they don't want to be in Australia around then. They told me that the end of February to May is their fall season and is the best time and the best weather. Although it may be a little hot at the end of February, it's a lot better than being freezing cold and having bad weather. So throughout my travels in Europe, I've made tons of friends through tours, meeting people in hostels, just from random places, and a lot of them are from Australia. And a lot of the people that I'll be meeting in this next Jaycation series are my friends that I've known, that I've talked to on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and I'm excited to see all of them, and I'm excited for them to show you guys the culture of Australian living.
What's up, man? Yo, what's up, man? Sangria! Sangria, except for me.
Having friends in Australia is awesome, because when it comes to planning and going to a place you've never been to before, you kind of want to know through the locals, where do the tourists go? Where do the locals go? What's worth it to see? What's not worth it to see? So it's really good to have friends from other countries, and if you have that luxury, I suggest you reach out to them on Facebook or give them a call, shoot them an email, and ask them, what should I do? Where do we go? And if they are happy enough to show you around, even better. So first things first, Jaycationers, if you guys want to play along, let's start writing a list down. First off, when do I want to go? Some people traveling the world have jobs and can only really take 2 weeks off a year to travel the world. For me, I only have 2 weeks. So I picked the end of February to the beginning of March for my trip to Australia. So let's get started in planning this amazing trip. So first off, what's my budget? For you, the traveler, think about it. Like, do you want to live in luxury? Do you want to save? How long's your trip? And you really want to make use of your money. You want to be wise with it, but at the same time, you want to be yourself. You want to accustom the trip to who you are and just enjoy life. Next up, where can I find cheap flights? You just want to get the best deal and best flight out there. So as you've probably heard from tons of other travel vloggers, Kayak is a great site to go to. Google.com/flights. Skyscanner is another place I discovered that finds you the cheapest fares. Some of the sites there, you could trust, but sometimes you shouldn't. But the best thing is just to check the prices there, validate if they're legit, and then go to the Direct Airlines website. And most of the time, the Direct Airlines website has it for the same price, maybe even cheaper. So you've saved up some money, and you're ready to buy your flight. Well, don't just buy your flight with your cash. Maximize your money. Sign up for the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card. It's one of the best cards out there for traveling, and you won't regret it. So let me tell you what's good about the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card. First things first, there's 0 foreign transaction fees. So when you're traveling around the world, you don't always have to bring hard cash to go to currency exchanges to get that country's money, because with the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card, it has a great conversion rate for many of the countries in this world, and the reward system is awesome. It's phenomenal. So when you first get your Chase Sapphire Preferred Card, the first year is free. After that, it's $95, which is a lot for a credit card, don't get me wrong. But after you spend your first $4,000 on the credit card within the first 3 months, you get 50,000 points. That's almost $650 worth in travel when it's all said and done through their travel site. And you get 3 times the points. What else is good about this card is when you're out locally and you're dining in restaurants, you get 2 points for every dollar spent. And on every first Friday of the month, you get 3 points. So your points will add up and you can save up and finally get money for that next trip. Try finding cheap fares out of cities that are around your hometown. For instance, I'm from San Diego, but I'm gonna check out Orange County and LAX and even San Francisco. So I suggest looking at other cities close to your hometown, and if airfares are cheaper and it's worth it with your time and the troubles, do it. Here's a tip for people that are traveling in Australia. The two economic airlines, which is comparable here in America to Southwest Airlines, is Jetstar and Tiger Air. Those two airlines in Australia have the best fares and are very cheap and economic, and you know what you're gonna get. And for all you Jaycationers that have traveled on these economic airlines, you know how it is. Sometimes it's delayed, sometimes you have to pay extra for bags. That's just the way it is for flying cheap. The next step to travel planning is to set your flights. For everybody it could be different, but for me in this instance, I just wanted to get to Australia. What was the cheapest fare and best alternative for me to get there? So I'm about to book online, and I see that Jetstar has one US city that it flies out of, and that is Honolulu, Hawaii. So I went on my Chase Sapphire Rewards site, and I found a flight from San Diego to Honolulu for $220. And I just used my points, and I paid nothing for my flight to San Diego to Honolulu non-stop. Hawaii. It's always been a dream of mine to go to paradise, and I'm finally going, and I'm going on rewards points. So since the cheap fare allowed me to fly into Hawaii, I'm gonna spend 2 nights there. I'm gonna find a flight on Jetstar and get over to Australia the cheapest way I can. So after searching Kayak, Skyscanner, and Jetstar, believe it or not, I found a flight from Honolulu to Brisbane non-stop, 9-hour flight for $220, one way. But be mindful when booking these things because my bags aren't included. I need to add on a check-in bag, which is about $35. So now that I've set my flight over to Australia, I need to find my flight back. For those of you travelers that don't really have a timeline, don't have to get back to your jobs right away, you could just set a one-way flight and then go on wherever you want to go. For me, I need to be back in 2 weeks. So once again, look for return fares for flights that are returning to places close to your hometown, and if it's convenient and cheap enough for you to do, go ahead and do it. I found a flight flying back into Los Angeles LAX airport from Auckland, New Zealand. What? Auckland, New Zealand? That's not in Australia. Well, I guess I gotta go to Auckland, New Zealand. So it's only a hop, skip, and a jump away from Australia, and now I'm gonna actually have a weekend in New Zealand. Now that I've gotten into Australia, where do I want to go? What cities do I want to visit? Who do I want to go see? So here's a quick rundown of my Australian adventure. First off, I'm landing in Brisbane, then I'm going over to Gold Coast, then headed over to Sydney, then the Adelaide Fringe Festival where I'm meeting a bunch of my Aussie friends, and then over to Melbourne to check out the delicious cuisine and one of the most livable cities in the world. After seeing all the kangaroos, koalas, and dingoes in Australia, I'm flying over to New Zealand to the adventure-seeking capital of the world in Queenstown. Bungee jumping, skydiving, jet boat, I don't know, we'll see. Depends, what do I have the balls to do? We'll see. I ran with the bulls, so I don't know yet.
Hey, let's go!
So next on the travel planning list is finding accommodations. Are you gonna stay in hotels? Are you gonna stay in an Airbnb, a hostel, or on a couch? You decide. It's all up to you. I like to stay in a mix of everything. I like to meet new friends, so I like to stay in hostels, but sometimes I just want to have privacy on my own, so I get an Airbnb or a hotel. It all depends on the price and what my budget is, but for this trip, I'm just gonna mix it up a little bit. When I'm in Brisbane, I'm only there for one night, and I kinda wanna meet some people when I get there, so I'm gonna stay in a hostel, in a 4-bed dorm room, and hopefully meet some new friends. So at Gold Coast, I found an Airbnb, and it's only about $65 a night. I have my own room, and it's like a penthouse overlooking the beach. You can't beat that. So I get to relax, have my own privacy, and get to wind down. Once you got your flights down and you know what cities you're flying into, figure out the local transportation. Do they have a subway? What's their bus system like? Is there maybe a tram, or do they have Uber? You just want to know all this stuff ahead of time so that when you're there and you need to go to places and you want to get there quickly, you know these are an option for you. My best advice is walk as much as you can. you want to get a workout in while you're on vacation because you're probably not going to the gym a lot or going for runs a lot. But if you can walk to these places, do it. And if you have the time, do it. But if not, you gotta know the local transportation. Don't be like me. I still can't get a grasp on bus systems.
My lack of planning, I ended up having to take a taxi.
Next up, create a list of landmarks you want to visit, places you want to eat, and things you want to see. If you have friends in that country, ask them. If not, just go on YouTube and check it out. You have a lot of travel vloggers like me to guide you. For those of you US citizens and other people traveling to Australia, you also have to apply for something called an ETA. It's only about $13 US and takes about maybe 5 minutes to do online on the Australian government website. We'll get into packing and knowing what to bring a little later on. Study Google Maps ahead of time of the cities you're about to visit. Give yourself a sense of where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do, and when you're at that city, you're not gonna be blindsided because you kind of have a grasp and have some bearings on where you're wanting to go. When looking for places to eat, check out TripAdvisor or even Yelp. Most countries are starting to catch up to these websites, and there are a lot of great reviews on these places. In the coming weeks, we're gonna continue with these Jaycation planning guides. I'm gonna show you how to pack, how to research for accommodations, what souvenirs to look for, and how you can craft an itinerary that you could actually look at and keep yourself organized during the trip. I'm also going to make a video of how to make reservations for activities either online, at hostels, or even free things. There's plenty more to come in the Jaycation experience in 2016, so if you like what I'm doing, please give this video a like, comment on the box below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see all you Jaycationers next time on the next Jaycation travel planning video, but until then, keep on watching YouTube. Watch all these travel vloggers. We're going to Australia, mate.
This is Czech Republic. Look at the Budweiser American Pharaoh, bro.